Are you ready? Because what Caitlin Clark just did against Italy basically settled every argument. Team USA came out flat. The score was tied in the first quarter, and the offense was stagnant. Then Clark checks in, and suddenly everything changes. Logo threes, fast breaks, pinpoint passes, the whole thing. She dominates in 22 minutes off the bench, and Team USA wins by 34. And somewhere in the middle of all this, a coaching change in Team USA happened that nobody saw coming. The numbers from this game don't just prove Clark is Team USA's best player. They prove she's the best player in this entire tournament, and the stats are honestly hard to argue with. So let's talk about what actually happened against Italy, because this story is wild. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree that Caitlin is the best player in Team USA, because the stats already say so. Team USA, one of the most stacked rosters in women's basketball history, comes out against Italy, and the score is tied for most of the first half. Not down two, not trading buckets in a back-and-forth game. Tied. The offense is going nowhere. The ball is moving slow, the half-court sets aren't working, and Italy is just hanging around. That should not be happening. And this isn't a team lacking talent. Paige Beckers is out there. Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum. These are legitimate stars, and they're stuck in mud against Italy. Nobody's pushing the pace. The defense knows exactly where the ball is going because it telegraphs every single time. Italy, a Team USA should be handling comfortably, is right there in it.
Is high everywhere in the world.
And Caitlin Clark immediately making an impact for Team USA. Her first foul of the game. It'll be Italy ball on the sideline.
Then Clark checks in off the bench, and almost immediately, the whole thing shifts. The first thing she does is push pace. She's not waiting for the half-court sets to develop. She's already reading the defense before it even gets a chance to set. Italy scrambles back, and she's already made the decision. The ball is moving faster, the reads are sharper, and suddenly Team USA looks like a completely different group of players.
Clark off the re-screen. Sidestep, deep three! And there's Caitlin Clark for her first triple of the game, and it's the classic.
Then comes the first logo three. Clark pulls up from well beyond the arc. We're talking logo range, the kind of shot most players don't even consider. And it goes in clean. Italy's defense has to extend out to cover her now, and the moment they do, the lane opens up. Pick and roll feeds start finding cutters. Teammates who were standing still 5 minutes earlier are now getting the ball in rhythm, in their spots with space to work.
Showing by Santucci, especially against KP.
Italy showing a zone now. 9 seconds to shoot. Inside to Billings. Billings, the reverse off the glass is good.
And it wasn't just the first quarter. Team USA hit a couple of cold spells during the game where the scoring dried up and the pace slowed back down. Every single time, Clark broke it. Not with one massive play, but with a sequence. She'd push the ball in transition, find a cutter on the move, or step back and hit another deep two that forced Italy to completely reset their defensive game plan. The momentum never stayed flat for long when she was on the floor.
Caitlin Clark doing her best Chelsea Gray impression. What a finish. Showing the handles, the turnaround.
By the final buzzer, it's 93-59, a 34-point blowout. Italy never found their footing again after that first quarter shift, and it's pretty clear why. Clark finishes with 12 points and 5 assists in 22 minutes off the bench. Those numbers are solid, but they honestly don't tell the full story of what she did to the flow of that game.
You had the crew come in, and I really liked the lineup that played. Caitlin was the first sub off the bench. She hasn't started yet, but immediately came in off the bench and scored. As soon as she checked in, she got a bucket, like within seconds. She was the 6th woman in this one. She's one of the players who hasn't started yet, but who cares? But comes in, you see Jackie handling, And Caitlin gets the ball, calls for it, passes it off, gets it back, goes to the cup.
The assists count the passes that officially led to baskets. They don't count the drive that drew 2 defenders and kicked out to a shooter. They don't count the pick and roll read that moved the defense just enough to create an open look on the next possession. The actual impact was bigger than the box score shows, and anyone watching the game live could feel it.
It off to Santucci, who just subbed in, as well as Angel Reese for Team USA, getting action on the floor now. Zandalicini pops up, no good, big rebound.
The moment Clark stepped on the floor, Team USA stopped looking like a group of talented individuals and started playing like a team that knew where it was going. That change was instant, and it was obvious to everyone watching. Here's where it gets interesting, because one number from the Italy game basically shuts down every argument about Clark's role on this team. When Clark is on the floor against Italy, Team USA outscores them by 27 points. That's her plus-minus, plus 27, in 22 minutes off the bench. And when she sits, that number drops to plus 16. So even with Beckers, Copper, and Plum out there, Team USA is 11 points less dominant the moment Clark isn't on the floor.
Brings it up against Brea Fico. Clark off the Reese screen. Sidestep, deep three! And there's Caitlin.
Let that sit for a second. Plus-minus isn't about how many points she scored. It measures the entire team's performance while she's out there. Every stop, every basket, every possession. And the difference between Clark on the floor and Clark on the bench is 11 points. One analyst put it plainly watching the game live. They were plus 27 with her on the floor. They are a million times better with Caitlin Clark on the floor. That's not a hot take. That's just what the numbers say.
Caitlin Clark to set something up off the Hamby screen. Dishes it into Hamby. Hamby makes that one look easy. What a give and go between those two.
And it's not just the Italy game. Zoom out to all 3 games in this tournament, and the picture gets even clearer. Clark leads Team USA in assists. She's tied with Paige Beckers for first in points. She leads the team in free throws, and her plus-minus is the highest on the entire roster. Not second highest. First, meaning Team USA wins by more when Clark plays than when literally anyone else on that roster plays. That's what the data says after 3 games. But that's not all. Because it doesn't stop at Team USA. Across every country, every player, every single game in the FIBA 2026 qualifying tournament, Clark leads everyone in plus-minus. Not just the Americans. Every player from every team in the whole tournament. The player coming off the bench, the player whose minutes have been managed and debated and picked apart, is the most impactful player in the entire field, by the numbers.
Paige. Just thought you were a little faster.
Yeah, and I think Santucci called the glass too, so we give a double value to that shot.
I heard.
And then there's the assist record. Clark has 19 assists through 3 games. She's already broken the record for most assists in a single FIBA qualifying tournament in history. That record belongs to her now, and she still has 2 games left to play. 2 more games to keep building on a record that's already in the history books. So right now, Clark is first in assists for Team USA, tied for first in points, first in free throws, first in plus-minus on the team, and first in plus-minus across the entire tournament. Oh, and she holds the all-time assist record for a FIBA qualifying tournament. All of this while coming off the bench. This isn't a fan narrative. It's not a media argument. The data from this tournament across every category that actually tells you something about winning points to the same player every single time. And that player has been sitting on the bench at the start of every game, which makes what happened with the coaching situation between Puerto Rico and Italy really hard to just brush aside, because someone was deciding how to use her, and those decisions don't hold up anymore. Let's talk about the coaching situation, because something changed between the Puerto Rico game and the Italy game, and it is not subtle at all. Nate Tibbetts, the Phoenix Mercury head coach, ran the bench against Italy. Kara Lawson was not in that role, and everyone watching wants to know why.
I thought Nate Tibbetts is a better coach than Kara Lawson Kara Lawson wasn't present, which I thought was odd.
So let's go back. After Clark's record-breaking debut against Senegal, 12 assists, the most by any bench player in FIBA history, Lawson stepped up to the microphone and basically said, "Everyone needs to shine, not just Caitlin." That quote landed really badly. Fans were furious. The media picked it up immediately. Nobody was saying other players shouldn't shine. The numbers just showed that Clark was the reason the offense was working, and Lawson's response felt like she was deliberately downplaying that.
I thought Puerto Rico played very, very hard, and they played hard the entire time. They challenged us with their effort, and I thought they made a lot of hustle plays to create baskets for themselves. And, this was more of an uneven game for us on both ends. We talked about it as a team, and I thought we had some good spots, but I also thought we had some rough spots, and that's good. It's good to have rough spots sometimes. You're able to kind of figure some things out, and we're still figuring things out.
Then came Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico ran a box and one, which is basically a defense designed specifically to take one player completely out of the game. That player was Clark. And instead of finding ways to use Clark's playmaking to attack that defense, Lawson kept her on the perimeter and ran the offense through other players. Clark herself described what happened as clunky. The pace died. The spacing fell apart. Team USA won, but it looked like they were wading through concrete the entire game.
I mean, I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays zone, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set these out.
The reaction from fans was loud. The reaction from media was even louder. People were asking openly whether Lawson was deliberately limiting Clark or whether she genuinely couldn't see what everyone else was seeing in real time. Neither answer looked good. Then Tibbetts shows up for Italy, and the rotation looks completely different. He puts Clark in the point guard role the moment she entered the game in the first quarter. He builds the lineup around her playmaking instead of around her. He lets her push pace and make decisions, and the offense that looked broken against Puerto Rico suddenly works again. Tibbetts even said after the game that he intentionally mixed matchups and let players run longer stretches than in previous games to build chemistry and creativity in the rotations.
What did you see from the lineup with Kelsey Plum, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Ryan Howard, and Angel Reese, and how did that group impact the flow of the game?
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. This is a group that hasn't been together very long. We've kind of mixed the matchups, mixed the rotations. We played our players a little bit longer stretches than what we had done in the first two games. And so I thought initially they got off to a good start. I probably played them a little bit too long of a stretch at some of them got a little bit tired. But yeah, I love the creativity. I love the shooting with that group.
Whether Lawson was officially replaced, stepped back, or this was always the plan, the timing is hard to just wave away. The backlash was real. The results under her rotation strategy were genuinely bad. And now, a different coach is making different decisions, and the team just won by 34 points. Tibbetts' whole approach against Italy looked like someone who sat down with the Puerto Rico tape and came to a pretty obvious conclusion. Get Clark the ball. Let her run the offense. Trust her reads. Stop trying to work around her and start building around her instead. The Italy result under Tibbetts and the Puerto Rico result under Lawson's rotations basically tell you everything you need to know about which approach actually works.
Another thing I noticed is that Caitlin Clark was used a lot in this game, and I'm glad she was. She did pretty well. I'm surprised she wasn't player of the game. I thought she should have been player of the game, but they gave it to Chelsea Gray. Whatever. I don't know who makes these decisions. They're not good at it.
Right? So while all the coaching drama was playing out, something else was happening on the floor that's worth paying close attention to. Clark and Paige Beckers are starting to genuinely figure each other out. And when those two are reading the same game at the same speed, the offense becomes really hard to guard. Clark pushes the ball up the floor, Beckers reads where the defense is scrambling, and the pass arrives before the defense can recover. Pick and roll reads, off-ball cuts, kickouts to open shooters. It's starting to look like two players who've been running the same system for years, not two stars still learning each other's tendencies in their third game together. Tibbetts even leaned into it directly, deploying a 3-guard lineup with Clark, Beckers, and Kelsey Plum on the floor at the same time. And that combination gave Italy absolutely no good answers. 3 players who can all push pace, all make decisions quickly, and all create for each other. Italy kept scrambling to figure out who the biggest threat was, and by the time they decided, the ball was already somewhere else. Now contrast that with Angel Reese's role against Italy. Under Tibbetts, Reese played her lowest minutes of the entire tournament. Her shot wasn't falling, and the ball handling responsibilities she took on during the Puerto Rico game, gone completely. In the Puerto Rico game, Reese was being used as a primary ball initiator while Clark was kept out on the perimeter. So you had a defense specifically designed to take Clark out of the play, and the answer was to run the offense through Reese as a ball handler. The result was hesitation, misreads, and a half-court offense that had no answers for anything Puerto Rico threw at it. Clark called it clunky. That's being kind.
Angel Reese is playing the point guard. She's not looking Caitlin Clark's way one time, deliberately not passing her the ball. And
Against Italy, that experiment was
just
over.
checked in a few seconds ago.
Tibbetts' rotation
Caitlin Clark
sent a
to
pretty
Angel
clear
Reese.
message
What a
about where
connection!
this roster was
Angel
headed.
can't
The ball was
connect
going to
from.
players who
Would you look
push
at that?
pace
All is
and make
well
quick decisions
in the
under
universe.
pressure.
Caitlin Clark
That's
and
Clark.
Angel Reese
That's Beckers.
slap hands.
And with Copper
Crisis
and Plum alongside
averted.
them,
Paige
this
Beckers
team has a
involved there
multi-guard
too.
identity
Kelsey
that can
Plum
sustain
also
tempo
loves
for
seeing
long
those 4
stretches
on
against
the
any
floor
defense
together.
they face. The Clark and Reese combination isn't completely dead on paper. Clark facilitating, Reese screening, and finishing at the rim. That can still work in the right matchup. But Italy showed that when Tibbetts has a real choice about which direction to go, he's going guard-heavy and fast. And that system runs through Clark and Beckers, not through anyone else. And these two still have 2 more games to build on what they started against Italy. The reads are already getting sharper. The timing is already getting tighter. Clark is finding Beckers in spots where the defense genuinely has no good option. Help off Clark and Beckers is open. Stay with Beckers, and Clark is pulling up from the logo. That 3-guard lineup with Clark running the show isn't just an exciting thing to watch. It's a blueprint for what this offense looks like when everything is actually working. Here's the thing about everything Clark just did in this tournament. None of it stays in FIBA. All of it comes back to Indiana with her.
I was going to ask that, do you feel like some of the mistakes that you guys made was something that Puerto Rico was doing, or were some of them also a little self-inflicted?
I think it was mostly self-inflicted. I thought we missed some feedback coverages, and then I think especially with how much we fouled too, like it really limits us, especially in transition when we want to play fast. And, it's hard to push, especially off of the fade free throws or setting on the rest.
It was obviously a big win by a large margin for Team USA, but what can you say about what you saw about Team Puerto Rico tonight?
Yeah, I thought they played with a lot of fire. I thought they were aggressive. I thought the crowd was incredible. Their fans were great, so it's a really fun environment to play.
Think about what she's actually done across these 3 games. She broke the all-time record for most assists in a single FIBA qualifying tournament. She leads every player from every country in plus-minus. She's first on Team USA in assists, tied for first in points, and the team is measurably better with her on the floor than with anyone else. And she did all of that coming off the bench, every single game. And it's not like this came out of nowhere. Her debut against Senegal, she put up 17 points and 12 assists in just 19 minutes. She broke 5 FIBA world records in one game, including most assists in a senior national team debut for any country, men or women, and most assists by a bench player in FIBA history. That's not a hot streak. That's a player operating at a level the sport hasn't really seen before in this kind of competition.
Yeah, I think taking care of the ball is probably going to be our main focus. I think we could have moved the ball a little bit better. I don't know how many assists we had, but I thought we could have probably passed the ball a little bit better. I think about these games, the paint was really, really long, and we want to get easy finishes at the rim, but I think also getting the paint and be ready to kick it out.
And would you say that it was due to Puerto Rico's defense or just offense not falling.
Puerto Rico did a great job, but also I think we can be better offensively.
So what does that mean for Indiana in 2026? A lot, actually. The fast-paced, guard-heavy, read and react system that just took Italy apart by 34 points, Clark can run that in the WNBA. She's been running pieces of it with the Fever already, but now she's got real international reps behind it. She's spent this tournament making quick decisions against defenses she's never seen before, finding teammates she's still building chemistry with, and breaking defensive game plans in real time. That sharpens a player. That carries over. The Fever already have pieces that fit around the way Clark plays. A full offseason with this level of international experience on top of everything she did in her first 2 WNBA seasons, that's a different player walking into training camp. The reads will be faster. The decisions will be cleaner. And the confidence that comes from setting all-time records while everyone is watching, that doesn't just disappear when the tournament ends.
Kara talked about doing different lineups, different rotations to test out that chemistry. Just how did you feel tonight, yesterday, with all those different
Yeah, I
rotations?
think it's going to be a work in progress with everybody trying to kind of find the flow a little bit, especially when we're going 5 in, 5 out. But, you know, you got to be flexible. That's kind of what USA basketball is all about. Some games you're going to play less, some games you're going to play as much. You might come off the bench, you might start. So you got to be ready when your number's called. And I think everybody's done a good job of that. And, I mean, we don't even know the starting lineup until we're in the locker room before the game. So you just get ready and go out and play.
The argument about Clark's place in this team, in this tournament, and honestly in the sport right now, it's done. The numbers settled it. Plus-minus leader across the entire tournament. All-time assists record. Team plays better with her on the floor than with anyone else. There's nothing left to debate. What makes it actually exciting is that she still has 2 games left in this tournament. So if you want to see how these last 2 games play out and what this Team USA blueprint looks like when it's fully running, tune in and stay close because this is only getting better. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree that Caitlin is the best player in Team USA. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.